Gemini, how you getting on? Okay, so I reckon that I frighten people as soon as I come onto camera, shouting at you. How you getting on? So, I've been on holiday and I'm back, okay? So, since I've got back, I've just kind of refreshed everything and realised that I've got shitloads of new subscribers. So, thank you all so much for subscribing. To everybody else that has also subscribed, thank you all so much for liking, sharing, commenting, all that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it, okay? But also, obviously, I'm going to have to explain things, but I'll do it at the end for the new people that have just subscribed. But if you've watched your monthly or bi-weekly, you'll kind of know this. It's the same process, but this is going to be from the 15th to the 30th, okay? Same as the buy all option and all that kind of stuff. It's still there, and there's going to be bonus material that I'm going to put in there, and it's only really going to be for the people that use the buy all option. But I will also let people know what I put in there, but a lot of that might be to do with money and work that I'm going to also look at, okay? But that will be in there for the people that use the buy all option, and it's a good option because it gives you 3-month access for as long as you, well, not for as long as you like, obviously for 3 months, but it will give you access in order to check everything out. So I'll explain that more towards the end, Gem, but I really appreciate all your support, and let's get on with things. Okay, so the first house, the karma, first impression, but also, please, because I'm going to try and do all this with work, career, finances, health, and also to do with family and stuff and all that. So this doesn't always have to mean your relationship, partnership, or people that you're interested in. This can also mean your family dynamics and stuff, you know. So please don't just be one direction. It can be like loads of directions, okay? So let's have a look, Gemini. So the first karma card is, wow. So that's it's pretty good, really, because that's the first impression, the self and the appearance and the leadership. So someone like leadership is like, okay, well, I'm just going to move forward fearlessly anyway. I've got a lot to carry and I've got a lot to do, but I'm going to continue to do it anyway, okay? It can be bad and it can be good, okay? But this is also the karma that you carry on your back. Every wand is an action that you've took or not took. It's a reaction to a counter-reaction and a reaction of a response of time, because it's indicative to time of what we do with past life or any kind of life of where we lead through struggle, okay? But you don't never give in to fear. You always persevere forward. Even if it's heavy, you still go forward, okay? But you have to make decisions. This is just one card, okay? Just one card. But you always, this is kind of like an ending as a beginning. So something may have ended, like a cycle and a pattern, and you may have learned something, because this is what you learn, okay? Because this is your karma. So you learn, and it is also a very big karma card because it's what you're carrying on your back. So it can be heavy, okay, but you could be lightening your load also. It doesn't matter about this card being in reverse or forward or upright because it's a 10. So it's a cycle and a chain that you continuously play out, okay, always, because life was always a struggle, but it depends on how much you persevere forward with strength. Leadership, because it's part of that, okay, appearance and leadership of your first house. Leadership of that you will persist forward regardless, okay? Whether that's good or bad, you still go forward on things, okay? It could be a lot to do with moving and traveling and all that kind of stuff, that you want to go in different direction, okay? It's not quite seen yet. Your future is not yet predicted as such as a first card, but it is something to do with dropping a burden or continuing to carry it. Now, a lot of you are going to be on different timelines. It depends. You know, it really does depend, Gemini, okay? But that's the first impression, that someone could have a first impression that you are very strong and that you will go forward regardless and that you don't mind change. This is also change. It might be for some of you that they just see you as a heavy burden, okay? But it might also be the fact that they see you, that you've got a lot on, but it doesn't matter because you are a strong, independent person also that doesn't give in to fear and that can make decisions. That means that also dropping it as an ending. The beginning of an ending, it's a very difficult card to start off with, a karma card, because it's one of the biggest ones in the deck. But it is not a major arcana. This is avoidable or avoidable, okay? So it's a bit like the tower. You can avoid the tower or you can walk straight through it. You know, never avoid things. Always go straight forward, okay? Because that's where you have most clarity, okay? Never avoid a problem, okay? You deal with the problem and you go forward and you deal with it, okay? It's like dealing cards of dealing with your karma, okay? You've got to deal with your karma. You can't avoid it. You have to notice it about yourself, of a 10, of a cycle of 1. Never avoid things. Always notice what it is to change it, okay? If you are willing to change, then the burden becomes lighter. Okay, you make your life lighter by changing. Okay, you have to change. You can't remain the same. That's why people see you as something different, because you are willing to change. Okay, first card. So then we go on to how they see you on, and this can be how you see them, and this can also be family and all that kind of stuff, you know. So how they see you. Wow. So this is also fear. Okay, this is fear, but this can be like abandonment, or it can be like it's not, because it's a 9. So it's also like a cry for help, but it's also like, well, I'm going to go forward fearlessly anyway. You know, I have loads of past actions, but I am going to go forward regardless, and I will persevere through fear, because it's an ending as a beginning. So some of you are going to be on different timelines, Gemini. You really are. This can be new or old people, because it's a 10. If you're still involved in a bowl of soup, if you're still involved in a bowl of soup of karma, then you are pushing forward fearlessly through it. Okay, whatever that is that you're going, you're taking action. You've still got a wand of action left that's going in a direction, and you are pretty much going forward fearlessly. Okay, now some of you could be dealing with fear of abandonment. Okay, but this is a lot of action, because these are both action incorporeated cards. So there's a lot of fire and passion here, a lot of fire and passion, because it's all wands of action. Okay, so there might have been something that ended, but something that you are fearlessly going forward again on that approach. Okay, so as a 9, as like a cry for help, it can mean some of you have been ghosted, that you're ghosted, or you're fearing being ghosted, or they're fearing being ghosted. But this is more to do with home. I'm picking up more to do with home stuff at home, being like I don't know, work or career. It can be a lot easier, because now retrograde is kind of, you see, the thing with fear, Gemini, right? The thing with fear and the thing with heavy burdens of retrograde, okay, your life can be so simple, okay, but you have to get it in order. You have to make things easier on yourself by making it. I've just picked up the song, because I'm easy like Sunday morning, yeah, because I'm easy. Yeah, so that is kind of like it's more to do with the home, of something to do with moving, traveling, and not fearing. Okay, so you've gone to, okay, so this is Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. So it's fixed in its way, but it's also transforming, like there needs to be something that needs to end as a beginning, because you've got a 10. So something ended as something begun. Okay, so you've done something, but it's also saying that there needs to be transformation. So if you look at it as in a partnership, okay, because this is how you're communicating, but it's also family, okay, because that is the 3rd house. It's communicating, but also family, okay. So it can have a lot to do with family, because it's the 3rd house, okay. So this is how you're communicating about some kind of ending or slow approach to something. But it's also, like I say, to do with family, okay. So because this is a family card, you could have someone around you that is a very fixed, low vibration. This is like low. It doesn't have to always mean Scorpio. Because it means transformation, it means like someone is either transforming or they're not. I'm thinking of the television program Transformers. Something in disguise, isn't it? Or something I can't remember. But this is like, there needs transformation of something. To work on a partnership, you need to both communicate about probably something to do with family, so you're probably communicating something to do with family, or something where you both need to end and drop something, okay? So this is like mirroring also, because it's a 10 and it's like an ending as well, okay? Like an ending and also a beginning of transformation. So it's kind of like, in order to work on something, there needs to be an ending to something, because that's how you're communicating. Now, if you're in a partnership and you're both willing to like sacrifice things, because this is also like the sacrifice. It doesn't have to like give up everything and go and just chuck like caution to the wind, okay? But it means that there needs to be something of a discussion of where there is a meeting of minds, okay? Like what was I coming up with? I was picking up something. a meeting of where you're both kind of reflecting, mirroring, where you've both probably come from the same thing. Here's a karma card. So you've both come from, if we look at it as past life kind of stuff, because it is karma. So you've both experienced things where your life are also a heavy burden that you're also trying to drop and bring into fruition, of things to end in order for new things to begin, as like a 9 of going forward fearlessly on it. So you're both reflecting kind of something through that because of like a 10 and an ending. Okay, so this can be both of you. Okay, let's see. So wow. Okay, so the foundation of the relationship is built on some kind of heartache, but this can be someone suffering from a heart attack, like okay, I don't want to say this, but death of some strain on the heart. So, you know, I'm going to give you a little bit of my life kind of thing. You know, my mum is a Gemini, and like I said, this is a lot to do with home and family and stuff. So someone could be experiencing a lot of heart problems, and I know I do because my brother has that problem. Okay, so this could be indicative to that carrying on. So this relating this to my family kind of dynamic is like someone's just like, oh, for God's sake, you know, Jesus, you know, I've got to do it again. You know, continuing to carry a heavy burden. This is what I said, you know, to a lot of people in life. You're not Batman and Superman, and you cannot save people. You save yourself. You know, you have to realize things about yourself. People of like extremely low vibration, you know, people need to come up to your vibration. If you look at like relationship, you have to work on that. You have to work on it together and talk and discuss things, you know. But if you're looking at this here, for me, this is someone that's continually doing the same thing over and over and over again, a pattern over the same thing, and it's to do with someone of a very low vibration that could have heart problems. You know, and it could lead to death if they continue to do the same thing, you know. That's very prominent in my life, and I don't get involved. I don't care, you know. It's not that I'm a nasty person, but I just know that this situation for me is not good for me, and that's why I'm planning on moving. You know, I'm sorting out everything in my life in order to move out, you know, or see what happens. But pretty much kind of, I don't want to give too much about my life, but it's easy going. But this one thing is very strenuous on my mother, you know. So that's the family karma for you. So then you've got the 9 of Swords, the 8 of Swords, sorry. So this is kind of like the karma. This is like family karma to me. It's picking it up, family karma. This is like conditioning of where someone keeps trying to crack someone's conditioning, and I keep telling over and over again, you'll never do it. You can't do it. Someone is stuck in their way of conditioning, of a belief of fear of abandonment also, and the conditioning of trying to crack someone's mind. You can't crack someone's mind, and you never will. You know, you have to, because that's their mind of what they believe to be true. It could be a lot of fear and a lot of aggression. You know, don't give in to fear. Never give in to fear. You know, don't. You know, make steps in life. Trust me, I've made them and make them every single day. You have to go forward on things in order to realize that fear in the mind, okay, fear in the mind grows, but it stops growing when you actually take a step. When you take a step, it's like addiction, right? Addiction. I was explaining this to my best friend, one of my good friends, Gemini. I was explaining to him about addiction and how to look at certain things, you know, because this is an addiction problem, okay? So for my family thing, but I was explaining that, you know, this is part of someone's mind, okay, and that you can't crack their mind. The more you try to figure them out, the more you're going to get lost in trying to figure it out. You get lost in translation, and I say this to everybody, okay, everybody. The most important card in this whole system of these cards is not Major Arcana. It's the 8 of Wands. It's communication. It's open source. If I didn't have that card that was so important to me, I would sit here like this. Okay? So you wouldn't know. Okay? So the 8 of Wands is how I ended up writing, and how I ended up connecting with the source, and how I do it every single day. It's not written. It's not Google. It's not anything. It is literally stuff that I hear as being a clairvoyant. Okay, so it's like a present. And I was explaining that it's the present self of the conditioning. Okay, you're conditioned to believe a certain way. Okay, when you have a belief of someone else, you have to believe in what you hear to be true in order to be a tarot card reader. Okay, that's why you give over truth. Truth is the best thing that you can ever do. Okay, because you are like leader-oriented kind of stuff. You don't give in to fear, and you move forward fearlessly, and you fight through it, because fear grows. When you don't give in to fear and you take that step of the first 12 steps of life and the 12 steps of astrology of the 12 Aries to Pisces, okay, the 12 steps of conditioning of addiction, also 12 steps. Okay, there's 12 steps to that. You cannot skip a step in life. You have to go from step 1. So important. Step 1. Okay, drop burdens and continuously go forward fearlessly. Okay, because if you give into it, you sit there thinking, worrying, analysing, overanalyzing. Before you know it, Paul has come down and started to probe someone. You know, it's not real. Don't believe in the hype. Believe in yourself. You know, never believe in anybody but yourself also, because like attracts like, dislike attracts dislike, and dark attracts dark. Your vibration is everything in its key, and it needs to be kept under lock and key in order for you to attract someone that sees your true worth and value of your vibration. When they do see that, they want to be with you of your vibration. That's what it is. It's law of attraction. Law of attraction. Being this family, you get involved in this kind of stuff, your vibration is going to be pulled down. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you have to move out or anything like that. It just means don't get involved. Don't let it bother you of someone else that's fearing things. You don't. It's not, because you get pulled in. Okay, so I'm kind of talking about family things, but you know, you don't give in to fear. This is also the mind, and people will say, oh, you know, you can get out of this at any time you like, and you probably can when you understand it yourself. When you understand it yourself and you don't fight through fear. There was 17 on the clock. That's 2 8s. Okay, so then it means that you kind of go through a pattern. This is a pattern. And there was 2 8s pretty much, and there's an 8 there. So it might be 888 that might be, so look up 888. I can't really remember too much about numbers at the moment. But this, I mean, we'll see what happens here. But none of this is major arcana. None, apart from that. Okay, which means that there needs to be something that needs to transform within the relationship, the partnership. Okay, no fear, because this is like, was the same thing going to happen again? Is the same thing going to happen again? This doesn't have to mean that it extremely hurts. It just means that there needs to be something that ends, because you go from 3 to fear. Fear. Okay, so no, you know. So we'll see, but this is kind of like the beginning, then we're going to go through. So I'll leave it there at the moment. But what we will do is, okay, what I'm also telling people that over on Vimeo, I'm going to ask the question is, what is going on in their life? What's going on in the other person's life? So if you are in a bowl of soup with two other people, or they're interested in someone else or whatever, if you're in that kind of situation, I'm going to ask what is going on in their life, okay? And that should tell you that kind of question, and then you'll know if they're involved with someone else or they're not. But please, you've got to know that. Don't just imagine that, okay? It's not imagine all the people living like you. So you can't, yeah, so sorry. I'm getting lost. So have that in mind, okay? And then I will also ask the question, how do they think and how are they feeling? Okay, how are they thinking and how are they feeling about the situation, and also what is going on in their life? And that should hopefully break things down. I'll do the rest of these cards and see what's going to happen here. I will also clarify everything to see what it is to give you more of a story, and we'll also look at the rest of the overall advice and the guidance. Okay, the guidance and the advice of the overall energy of the reading. Break it all down and do it all as I normally do. Okay, so that is going to be in your bi-weekly folder. Like I said, there's still a 3-month option in order to grab, or you can just see the rest of the reading, which I think is £3 or $4, something like that, okay, for all the new people that don't know. And it's in your bi-weekly folder. Okay, Gemini? So thank you all so much for your support, and I will hopefully catch you on the flip side. Peace.